Welcome to the series on how to play chess. Throughout this series, you will learn how the pieces move, the rules of the game, and by the end of the series, you'll be able to play with your friends and family. So let's start off with the piece, the rook. The rook looks like a castle, and for this video, ignore the kings. We'll talk about them in a different video. So the rooks can move vertically and horizontally from where they are. For example, this rook can move all the way up and all the way down, and it can also move all the way to the left and all the way to the right. So let's say the rook moved here. Then black will make a move, and we'll talk about the king in another video. Now the rook can go all the way up and all the way down and all the way to the left and all the way to the right. So let's say the rook moves down. Now black makes a move, and in this case the rook can move all the way up, all the way to the right, but it can only move one square to the left. And this is because the king is blocking the rook. The rook cannot go through other pieces. So now let's do some puzzles involving the rook. Let's say we have our white rook here and we want to capture black's rook. Capturing a piece essentially means taking it. So how can we do that? Well, we want to get onto the same line as the opposing rook so we can capture it. So there's two ways to do that. We could go to this square or this square. So we'll go to this square, and let's say black moves here. Then we can capture the rook. In this puzzle, if it was black to move instead of moving their king, they could capture our rook with this move. In this final puzzle, we want to capture both of black's rooks in the least amount of moves possible. So I want you to pause the video and see if you can do this. Okay. So let's capture this rook over here first, and to do that we need to get our white rook onto the same line as that black rook, and that we can do that by either going to this square or this square. So we'll go to this square. Now for this puzzle, black's rooks won't move, so we'll move their king. And now we can take the first rook, black's king will move, and now to get the second rook, we need to get to either one of these squares so we're on the same line as the rook. So let's say we go here. Black makes a move, and we are able to capture black's second rook. Thank you for joining me in the first video of this series, and in the next videos we'll talk about the other chess pieces.